ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another All Outdoor 1 video. Today I'm going to be doing a little knife review. I haven't bought any knives for myself personally for quite some time now, and due to the fact that I needed to put this little kit together, which is my recon kit. If you want to see the full video of that, then please click up here. But yeah, I bought this knife for the purposes of putting into this kit, and it's working really well in this capacity. And the knife we're going to be looking at is the Falkniven U2. Yeah, I do actually own a Falkniven F1. I've got a review for that on my channel somewhere. I've had that knife for a couple of years now, and every time I've used it, I'm just always amazed about how well it performs. So to me, the Falkniven range are definitely a winner every time, and that goes for this knife too. I'll just give you a little zoom in on this now, just so you can see. Now the handle material is a plastic. I think it's a Zytel, which is a really tough, hard-wearing plastic. Okay, it's not the prettiest of things, but this is one of the cheapest, I think it's the cheapest folding knife in the Falkniven range. And they've basically used this material just to keep the costs down. As you can see, it has a very functional lanyard hole there, and as we move up, it's very simple, very neat, elegant construction. Has the tension adjustment here, and also the pivot screw, which forms part of the lockback system. Locks very neatly into place, clicks into position nice and firmly. Absolutely zero play in either direction. And then the blade is laminated super gold powdered steel, which I believe only Falkniven are using at the moment. It's a very hard steel. It's harder than most standard carbon steels, and has the added advantage of being very rust resistant. And this keeps a really razor sharp edge, it honestly does. Let's see if we can do a little shaving test. I mean, that is hair popping sharp, straight from the box, factory edge. I have sharpened this one up a couple of times because I've used it a couple of times, and in my opinion, you get to the true hardness of it after it has been used a couple of times. I just used the strop to sharpen it, and I think once you get through the laminate layer, you get to the true hard steel in here, and it maintains an excellent edge through a lot of cutting tasks. As for function, it is a small knife ultimately. I think it's 3 inches long or something along these lines. This is a Spyderco that I have, and it's roughly the same length, I believe. Yeah. So it's not a huge, you're not going to be able to do huge cutting tasks with this, but for what I use it for, which is a lightweight, as part of a lightweight kit which is designed to maximize mobility, it's perfect for that kind of task. Ultimately, if I had to, I don't know, let's say build a fire, then I could do that using this knife by creating feather sticks and preparing shavings of tinder, or even carving a basic friction fire set. These are all doable tasks with this blade. Okay, you can't baton huge lumps of wood or anything along those lines, obviously, but you could get really big shavings off the side of it, for example, to get it going. And it's a nice solid piece of thick steel as well. Probably on this knife I'd say it's probably about the same as the Mora Companion, the thickness of the steel. You know, you wouldn't be using this as a pry bar in any way, definitely not suitable for those purposes, especially given that the handle is ultimately a plastic. So it would give, you know, a lot sooner than the steel would, for sure. But yeah, other purposes that you could use this for is a game preparation. I think, you know, it would make ultimately a really good skinning knife. Hi guys and girls, welcome. You've joined me in the kitchen. Just got some food on the go here. Today I'm going to be making a soup, Italian soup, which is known as minestrone, made on the beef stock, but I'm just browning off some onions at the moment. And a little tip for you, yeah, this impacts a lot of flavour into the soup if you get the onions and the garlic in first, and you just make them translucent, even slightly brown on a low heat. But make sure it's a low heat. This will take a little time. Just getting a misted up camera there. But yes, the reason I brought you in here is because we're going to do another little cutting test with my Falkniven U2. As I said, this would make for a great game prep knife. And I've got to cut up some beef, so I'll just give you a little demonstration of that, how that looks, and how efficiently it works in that capacity. Right, so here we go. Let's see how this baby does. So here we go, a nice piece of beef here, nice good colour to it, should be nice and tasty, but basically it's got some bone running along inside here, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove that and trim some of this excess fat off. I mean, literally it cuts through this so effortlessly. It's just ridiculous, really. You actually also use a Mora clipper as a kitchen knife from time to time. I think it works pretty well in this capacity as well. If you were, for example, interested in making sushi or teriyaki, I think this would also make a good blade for that purpose. I mean, you can really get some thin pieces of meat with this. And it's literally effortless. Super sharp blade. This would also be good, for example, getting slices of meat this thin if you wanted to do some meat preservation, make jerky, something along those lines. And when making jerky, obviously all the fat should be removed. You just want lean meat, otherwise it's prone to go rancid. Oops, better give the minestrone a quick stir. Okay, so as you can see, I'm getting really thin pieces here, which is perfect for this soup. I mean, this does have a nice point on it too, so you can really make a good incision. And you know, if you're, for example, opening up the belly of your catch, you know, I mean, that's the perfect kind of sharpness that you want. You know, lets you be really accurate and clean with your incisions. I mean, you know, that's almost surgical. I can literally get translucent slices. And obviously, because of the tri-laminate coating on here, sorry, not the tri-laminate, getting confused with my knives now, because of the laminate coating on this knife, you know, I'm not bothered about it getting wet. It doesn't stain easily, and it's easy to clean. You know, don't even have to really bother keeping it oiled, as it really won't rust on you. Obviously, butchering a huge animal would be pretty difficult with this, although ultimately doable if you have enough time and patience. But you'd probably want something bigger. But in the capacity I'm using this, it's perfect. Yeah, so that's just some cutting tests. Or maybe I'll just chop some vegetables now, show you how it does with that. Okay, so this is coming along nicely now. Got the carrots added in here, softening up, along with the garlic and onions, and a little bit of olive oil at the bottom there. So now I'm just going to add the celery, finely chopped. A little tip here, I always use the leaves of the celery, as they actually contain a lot of flavour as well as nutrients. Good nutritional value in there, so don't let them go to waste. Just let that soften up for a couple of minutes. Sorry guys and girls, just bear with me a second while I just remove the rest of the fat from this meat and the bone and gristle, which you don't want to be, well, actually it does add good flavour, but it's obviously you don't want to be chewing through that. Oops. I mean, you can literally shave meat off this. Just trimming the excess fat off. Although actually fat is actually good for you in small amounts, believe it or not. Your body does need fat, although, you know, many people think it's totally unhealthy to consume fat, and in large amounts this is true. Okay. Right, now moving on to some mushrooms. Let's see how thin we can get these babies. Well, I think that's pretty good. I don't see you needing it thinner than that in cooking ever. Oops. I mean, you can get a good cross section like that, really thin. Okay, so yeah, that's the Falkniven U2 in the kitchen as a, you know, just a test for game preparation. I think it'll perform well on that, skinning small animals, you know, piercing the belly, cutting along, you know, removing the meat, processing the meat. It'll definitely work well, and as I said, easy to clean, you know, very simple design, easy to clean, so I don't see it as having any trouble used in that capacity. And it's very easy to maintain. The steel is actually fairly rust resistant, as I said in my scouting kit video. I have left my Falkniven F1, which is made from exactly the same metal as this, the same exact combination of steels, for about 2 or 3 days, 2 or 3 nights in a wet kit bag, like an idiot, and I forgot about it, and I have actually managed to rust up another knife once before by doing exactly the same thing, so I should have learnt my bloody lesson, but I didn't. And anyway, I was horrified when I found out, obviously, and went to pull it out, and was very pleased with the fact that there wasn't a single mark on it, even though there's actually water on the blade at the time still. So in my opinion, you really can't go wrong with this steel. You know, it's got the hardness of carbon steel and the corrosion resistance of stainless steel. I will say that, you know, it's possibly slightly more brittle. I've noticed with use of my Falkniven F1, you know, if you drop it on any rocks or anything, it is prone to chipping quite easily in comparison to stainless steel, for example. But obviously that's because of the way it's been treated, and you know, ultimately it's not, you know, that's not a design flaw, that's a user error. You know, I shouldn't be dropping these kind of knives onto rocks anyway. But apart from that, you know, I can't complain. As far as edge retention, it's excellent. I mean, you can do a lot of cutting with this through hard materials and it just keeps on going. So in that respect, I can't fault it. And okay, although the blade material isn't, you know, luxury or anything, I think, you know, it's actually an attractive knife, although that isn't usually a big issue for me. Yeah, I'm generally much more interested in function over form, actually. As it's kind of a semi kind of, not a choil even, but you know, finger shaping wrist or something along those lines. Just a nicely shaped handle, basically. Allows you to get a nice firm grip on it. Definitely benefits from a paracord lanyard, so you know, it essentially extends the handle, so you can get, you know, if you're going to do a lot of work with it, then that will definitely be an advantage if you added one. And yeah, I know this test here is a favourite with all you knife guys, so we'll do the paper test. As you can see, it's ridiculously sharp. Let's see how fine I can get these. Not too bad at all. Yeah, ultimately I'd actually love to EDC this knife. I think this would just be a perfect EDC blade, but sadly I live in the UK and obviously the law prohibits carrying any form of knife that locks, so yeah, I can't use this as an EDC blade. You know, one of my favourite EDC blades at the moment is this Spyderco non-knocking, under 3 inches in length. Makes for a great EDC carry, really functional, sharp enough for most tasks, easy to maintain, stainless steel. So actually no, I'm not sure this one is stainless actually. I think the scales are stainless, but anyway, this doesn't really rust up or anything, so it's serving me really well as my EDC carry. And obviously it's UK legal and is quite, you know, it's nicely shaped, and you know, it's got a non-threatening kind of design to it, and it looks sexy as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, off subject now. Yeah, going back to the U2, as I said, I'd love to EDC this, but yeah, I can't. So yes, it's gonna stay as part of the Scout kit, which I bought it for originally anyway. Yeah, obviously I do sell this one on my website as well, but you know, obviously some people are naturally going to assume that I'm being biased, and you know, I'm just, you know, trying to promote my shop and get sales. But you know, I think this is a really lovely knife. I mean, the other ones that Falkniven make, the other folders, which are made from exactly the same steel, exactly the same construction, just different handles. I mean, you can get some really beautiful handles, bone handles, and other expensive woods, including Makata, I believe. But you know, they cost considerably more, and this is an expensive. I think this is, you know, overpriced, frankly. For, you know, the function of it, you know, you can't, it's a small knife ultimately. It is very nicely designed and looks good and works perfectly, but you know, I think Falkniven could be selling these for a lot cheaper, frankly. And obviously prices in all the shops in the UK reflect this, so yeah, you will not get this cheap anywhere. But okay, back onto subject. Yeah, I think I've pretty much covered everything. Obviously it has the finger groove to make it easy to remove. Can't be opened one-handed really, definitely needs 2 hands to open. But as I said, I'm really impressed with the locking up system mechanism. It's ultra tight and sturdy, as you'd bloody expect for something that costs this much. Yeah, it's a really, I think it even makes like for quite a stylish kind of gentleman's knife. So yes, that's my review and my thoughts on the Falkniven U2 folding knife. So far I can't fault it. Similarly with my Falkniven F1, which I've absolutely used, abused and battered, and is still perfect. Can't fault these knives at all. Just Falkniven, message to you, just produce them more cheaply. Yeah, other than that, yeah, as I said, can't fault it. Very simple design, nothing can go wrong. Very elegant, very functional, super sharp. Yeah, so that's the Falkniven U2, reviewed by me, All Outdoor One. Hope you find that useful. You guys take care. Bye bye.